Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. In the name of Allah, the most compassionate, the most merciful. May Allah's peace and blessings be upon the soul of the Holy Prophet and his purified progeny. Dear brothers and sisters in faith all around the world, Assalamu alaikum and welcome to yet another edition from series of Quran and Today's Life. As you might have already been following this series of programs, we're discussing different issues and concepts, and we are trying to catch some information from the Holy Book of Allah, that is Al-Quran, enjoying from some commentaries and different exegesis of the Holy Quran, and referring to the real interpreters of the Holy Quran, that is the Ahlul Bayt, or the household of the Holy Prophet of Islam. For this purpose, we are benefited from presence of some scholars in this very program, inshallah, with the discussion that we shall have concerning the prophethood in Quran. In fact, we are trying to be using the scholarly elaborations of Hujjatul Islam Sheikh Hadi Valipur, Islamic scholar from Qom Seminary Schools. Hujjatul Islam Valipur, assalamu alaikum and welcome to this show.
Thank you so much. Alaikum assalam. Pleasure to be present.
Thank you very much. As the introduced topic, that is prophethood in the Quran, can you please tell us what is the difference between messengership, or as Islamic term says, risala, and prophethood, that is nubuwah? What is the difference of these two terms?
Trusting on Almighty Allah. As you know, my dear brother, prophethood or messengership, and the Arabic term risala or nubuwah, is one of the fundamental beliefs of Shia, and so it's very important to discuss about it. Prophethood, as an Arabic term, we say nubuwah has at least three meanings. Nubuwah, because it's an Arabic term, we must discuss about it in Arabic language, because prophethood has one meaning, only one meaning. But nubuwah, it's not the same. Nubuwah has at least three meanings.
I mean, the equivalent that we have it in English does not, in fact,
Yes.
clarify the exact meaning of it.
Yes, they are not the same.
True.
Yes, and this is the virtue of any languages, that they are not the same.
Very true.
Nubuwah somehow is derived from highness in Arabic language. And Nabi is someone who is higher than others.
True.
Another meaning of nubuwah means to know something from God. So Nabi is someone who knows something. And the third meaning is derived from nubu'ah, not from nubuwah. And nubu'ah is to prophesize and say what will happen in future. So Nabi is someone who say us to what will happen in future. So we have three meaning, at least, in Arabic language for nubuwah.
Very true. How about the messengership or risala?
No, it has one meaning only. It's risala, it means to send someone.
Okay.
Yes.
So what is the difference between Rasul and Nabi? I mean, the messenger or the prophet?
Yes.
Is there any difference here?
Yes, sure. Our scholar has mentioned lots of definitions for these two. Nabi, one of the meaning of Nabi is someone who preach a religion or Sharia.
True.
But Rasul is someone who brought a Sharia. So this is one definition for Rasul and Nabi.
One who preaches and one who...
Yes. It means at the first, Rasul is someone who brought a Sharia, and then Nabi's duty is to preach this Sharia.
This Sharia.
So the position of Rasul is higher than Nabi.
Very true.
Because Nabi is someone who preached this Sharia. This is the first definition.
And the Holy Prophet of Islam, Muhammad, was at the same time that he was Rasul, he was also a Nabi.
Yes.
Okay. So what is the root of this definition that you just presented for us? I mean, different connotations that you just presented for the terms Rasul and Nabi.
Yes. If you permit, I wanted to mention some other definition for these two terms.
Is there any other
Nabi,
definition?
yes, because I said there are lots of definitions for this Rasul and Nabi.
So what was the first definition that you gave us?
Rasul is someone who brought a Sharia
I know.
and
I mean,
religion.
what was the root of the first definition that you gave us?
This is about scholars' definition,
Mhm.
and all definition that they mentioned refer to one riwayah and one root.
Right.
And at the end, I say
Right.
the root of this definition. The second definition of Nabi and Rasul, they say Rasul is someone who brought a book
Mhm.
for us, and Nabi who preached this book.
This book.
Maybe this book, maybe you ask me, so if someone brought a book, so it means that he brought a Sharia, but not. It's not the same. Book, it's not as Sharia. Because, for example, Prophet David, peace be upon him,
Mhm.
he brought a book, and we call it Zabur in Arabic term. But nobody says that Prophet David has brought a Sharia. He was a preacher of Prophet Moses'
Very true.
Sharia, but he brought a book.
So any prophet who has a book is not necessarily,
Yes,
a Rasul.
yes,
Very true.
yes. So the second definition is Nabi is preacher of the book of Rasul.
Very
This is the
true.
second definition.
Mhm.
And the third definition says Nabi is someone who received revelation, receive a revelation, but he can't see the angel.
This is for Rasul.
This is for Nabi.
Nabi.
Yes.
Mhm.
He received the revelation in his dreams or when he's awake, but he can't see the angel. But Rasul can see the angel and can hear the angel voice.
Very true.
This is the third definition.
Okay, inshallah, we shall touch upon other definitions or the differentiation that you are going, inshallah, to give us in these notions after a very short break. Dear viewers, please do stay tuned with us. We'll back in a few seconds. Welcome back to Quran and Today's Life and our discussion concerning prophethood in Quran and different exegesis concerning this concept in Quran. Hujjatul Islam, Sheikh Hadi Valipur, Islamic scholar, gave us a very good definition of the notions of Rasul and Nabi, the prophet and the prophethood and the messengership. But the question that may rise in one's mind is concerning the roots of these definitions, where these definitions are taken from. And can we have, for example, some more explanations in this regard? After that, we shall have some other question concerning that.
Inshallah. As you know, we should have a root, a special root from Holy Quran or holy narrations for every definition, Islamic definition.
Mm-hmm.
So because they are Islamic definitions,
true.
Risala and Nubuwwah, we should have a root, a really special root for these definitions. From the narrations point of view, we have a narration from Kafi, Usul al-Kafi, and Zurara, from Zurara. And he asked our Imam Abu Ja'far, Imam Baqir, peace be upon him and his family, about the verse Kana Rasulan Nabiyya. He was, it means Moses and Ishmael, because we have some prophets that they were Rasul and Nabi, prophet and apostle, or prophet and messenger. So, Zurara asked Imam Baqir about this verse. And Imam answered, النبي الذي يرى في منامه ويسمع الصوت وَلَا يُعَايِنُ الْمَلِكِ. The narrator asked Imam, what's the difference between Rasul and Nabi? Between prophet and messenger. And Imam answered, Nabi can see, can hear, and can see something. Some happens. Like our Holy Prophet Abraham dreams about Ishmael, his son. In his dream, he saw something about future, some events in future. But he didn't see the angel. Imam Baqir said, every prophet can see something in his dream.
Sorry for interruption. Is this dream a proof for the prophet or not? I mean, is it a hujjah for him to act upon it or not?
Yes, for prophet it's hujjah, and it's a proof, a real proof. But for us, maybe not, because we don't know the real criteria for distinguish that this dream is good and is real or not.
Very true.
But they know.
Sorry for interruption.
Yes. Imam Baqir said, every prophet can see some events in his dream and can hear angel voice, but he can't see the angels. But Rasul and messenger can see some events, can see the angel, and can hear.
Exactly.
Whether he's awake or asleep. But Nabi, even in his sleep, in his dream.
Very true.
So, this is one riwayah for the roots of those definitions.
Narrated from Imam Baqir alayhi salam.
Yes.
Okay.
This is from narration point of view.
How about the Quranic point of view?
Yes. In Quranic point of view, we have lots of prophet and messenger in Quran. I mean this word. Sometimes together and sometimes separately. We have these two words. Some scholars say, like Ayatollah Misbah in this time, he says, no difference between prophet and messenger. They only define us to respect of one person. Because Rasul is someone who has sent. And Nabi is someone who knows some news from God. So they are the same, but with two respect, with two aspects. So there's no difference.
But their capabilities are different.
Yes, their capability different. They say yes. But we can't say we have a real difference definition between two. Yes, we can say Rasul is Nabi and maybe he's higher. Nice. But they don't have any real special difference. This is. But we have some scholars that could know there's difference between prophet and messenger.
Yes,
Quran didn't say us an exact definition for these two. We must derive.
Exactly.
So, and in this derivation, we have some differences to have one definition for these two.
Exactly.
We have some verses in Quran. For example, in Surah Hajj, verse 52, we have مَا أَرْسَلْنَاكَ مِنْ قَبْلِكَ مِنْ رَسُولٍ وَلَا نَبِيٍّ إِلَّا إِذَا تَمَنَّى at the end of ayah. We didn't send before you any prophet or messenger. But at the end of ayah, it says at the first of ayah, مَا أَرْسَلْنَا.
We have never sent.
Yes, we have never sent. And Allah Ta'ala used arsalna and sending for both prophet and messenger. As you know, I said sending is a special term for only Rasul, not for Nabi.
Exactly.
But this verse says, Ma arsalna.
So it can be applied for both.
Yes. So every prophet or every messenger can be sent. So for sending is no difference between Nabi and Rasul. But some scholars says no. Nabi is someone who knows only some news from God. Maybe it's not his duty to preach.
Very true.
But when you say, no, I send someone, so you give him a mission for this sending.
Exactly.
This is one of the verses in Quran that deny that definition. That
So-
Nabi is not someone to send, someone to preach. Maybe his duty is only be silent.
Very true. So both of them have been sent from the
Quranic view.
Yeah, from Allah the Almighty. But in fact, the definition may have some changes, receive some changes in it. Anyway, we inshallah will go to the definitions that those current scholars have presented for this notion after a short break. We'll be back. We are in Quran in today's life and our discussion concerning the concept of prophethood or messengership from a Quranic perspective. Hujjatul Islam Sheikh Hadi has given us some definitions from the, let's say, narrations and also the commentaries of the Holy Quran for these two concepts. But the question that we are going to ask here is concerning the current exegesis of the Holy Quran. We want to understand whether is there any definition in modern, let's say, exegesis and commentaries of the Holy Quran concerning these two terms, that is Nabi and Rasul?
Yes. As you know, our real source, because we have some narrations that our Sunni brother Muslim didn't accept these narrations from our Imams. But Quran is our real source and our unique source.
No doubt.
Yes, and our common source.
Sure.
So we must have more study about Quran, and we must have a Quranic view about this definition.
Exactly.
Late Allama Tabatabai said in his book Al-Mizan, he said we can't accept our old scholars' definition about prophet and messenger, because all of them, they said messenger is not prophet. There's difference. And every messenger is prophet, but not vice versa.
Every messenger is a prophet.
Every messenger is a prophet, because
not
they
vice
say
versa.
messenger is higher than prophet. So when you're higher, so every messenger is prophet.
Exactly.
But not vice versa. But he says no. According to Quranic view, we have a verse in Surah chapter Baqarah. He says, وَمَا كُنَّا مُعَذِّبِينَ حَتَّى نَبْعَثَ رَسُولًا. وَمَا كُنَّا مُعَذِّبِينَ حَتَّى نَبْعَثَ رَسُولًا لَا نَبِيًّا. So, this verse says, we don't chastise anybody, but we send and raise a messenger.
As their proof.
Yes, no Nabi, messenger.
That is, both are one.
Yes. Every tribe and anybody who has fallen to doom and destruction in all time, Holy Prophet, Holy Quran said, we sent a messenger for them, no Nabi. So, messenger is someone who has a special duty, who has a special proof. And if you deny him, you may fall in doom.
Very true.
And destruction. But prophet is not like that. Prophet is someone who preach. Maybe he has brought a book, but he didn't bring a special proof for falling in doom or in destruction.
Exactly. So if both of them are one and they are coming for one mission, what is the reason that Allah has bestowed some a book or a religion to bring, and the other, the other's duty was just to preach the previous one's, let's say, book and religion?
Because the numbers of books is restricted. Is restricted.
Exactly.
We need some special books for guiding people, but we need lots of preachers for preaching this book.
For preaching this book, exactly.
Because we have lots of places, lots of cities, lots of countries, but we need one book, or maybe few books, but with lots of preachers.
So can you please tell us what is the exact interpretation of the late Allama Tabatabai from these two concepts that he sometimes believe that are the same, and where from he reached to this conclusion that both of them have what mission and are even the same in their capabilities, if I'm not mistaken?
Yes. Actually, Allama Tabatabai said the most famous definition for ulama and scholars for these two words is every messenger is prophet. And the real difference is maybe some prophets are not sent to preach. Maybe they are prophets, but it's not their duty to preach. Allama Tabatabai said this difference is not good and is not right because of some verses in Quran. The first verse, Allama Tabatabai said, we have in Quran, فَبَعَثَ اللَّهُ النَّبِيِّينَ مُبَشِّرِينَ وَمُنذِرِينَ. Allah has sent prophets and nabi'in. Prophets as the bearers of good news and warners.
And no Rasul here.
Yes. So he said, فَبَعَثَ اللَّهُ. He sent. Allah Ta'ala has sent prophets. Exactly. So you can say maybe some prophets, it's not their duty to preach. When Allah Ta'ala said, I've sent them, so they have some mission for people. So all prophets has a duty to preach.
Exactly.
So this definition is not good to say, yes, maybe some prophets, their duty is not to preach.
Exactly.
So because of this verse, he says all prophets are messengers. All prophets.
All prophets are messengers. And all messengers are prophets also.
Yes. So, and then he says, وَمَا كُنَّا مُعَذِّبِينَ حَتَّى نَبْعَثَ رَسُولًا. This is the real difference. Rasul is higher than Nabi.
Exactly.
And the difference is not only sending. Rasul duty is higher than Nabi. Nabi maybe didn't bring a book or didn't have a higher duty to guide people. But Rasul, no. Rasul is higher than Nabi.
Exactly.
This is
I don't know whether we have time to ask concerning their infallibility, or can we understand both were in fact bestowed infallibility or isma or not? If you give us a very short answer in this regard, we'll be thankful.
Yes.
Is there any Quranic evidence that both have the same amount of, let's say, isma or no?
As you know, from Shia point of view, messengers and prophets, no difference. Messengers and prophets, both are infallibles.
Exactly.
In all his actions. But in, Sunni point of view, prophets and messengers are infallible only in receiving the revelation. This is our difference.
And how about in preaching the message?
Preaching the message, Shia point of view and Sunni point of view, they are the same.
Oh, so they are ma'sooms, infallible.
Yes, they are infallible.
Okay, if I'm not mistaken, the difference that we got at the last, let's say, explanations of yours, both are the same in capabilities even, but the only difference is that Rasul's duties are a bit higher than the Nabi's one.
Yes.
Thank you very much, Hujjatul Islam Sheikh Hadi, for participating in this discussion. We have been benefited from your explanations, inshallah. We shall continue this discussion in our next shows. And you, dear viewers, please follow this series of programs and the in fact, interpretations of concept of Nabi and Rasul from the teachings of the Holy Quran. Till our next session, have a very good time. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.